Hey guys, Willie here with W.T.F car reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing the all-new 2024 Acura MDX all-wheel drive A-Spec.
And a big thanks to Lauren at Moss Acura in Tampa, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to her inventory below, and if you're looking for a new premium car or SUV in the Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out and ask for Lauren.
And for those of you guys who don't know, the MDX has been Acura's mid-size luxury SUV since 2001. That's when the first generation was released. The fourth generation MDX that you see here was released in 2022, and here we have the 2024 MDX super handling all-wheel drive A-Spec. For 2024, the MDX comes standard with a 3.5-liter V6 cranking out 290 horsepower, 267 pound-feet of torque, made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission and front-wheel drive. You can add super handling all-wheel drive for an additional $2,200. The 2024 MDX comes with 4 trims for the 3.5-liter V6 with super handling all-wheel drive, starting with the $52,000 base all the way up to the $63,000 advance. Here we have the more aggressive A-Spec trim, which features all the luxury and tech features from the advance outside of the 360 camera and the heads-up display, with a base price of $60,000. What else we get for that money? Let's jump right in. So up front, you notice your flickering LED daytime running lights not actually flickering in real life. We get some black headlight housing and 4-piece Acura dual LED headlamps. You can consider them an A-piece because they have a slot in the center of the 4-piece for both, of course, of the headlamps. You don't get a front-facing camera on the A-Spec trim. Got to go for the Advance for it. The Advance also gets a 360 camera, but we still have full front parking sensing. Bold black grille. I'm really loving the design, especially with this beautiful blue metallic paint color. There's no functional airflow in the corners, but I like the design with the air pockets and some additional 3-piece LED fog lights down below. The wheel and tire setup, let's take a step out to the side. The A-Spec gets more aggressive rims. These are 20-inch rims wrapped in Bridgestone Alenza Sport all-season tires. Dimensions being 250/50 R20, so the 255 wide tires should put the power down perfectly fine, especially with all-wheel drive, and this 50 series sidewall should still keep the ride quality nice and plush. I'm liking the Y-spoke design on these rims too. You get a little bit of plastic cladding surrounding the wheel well, A-Spec badge in the corner, black contrasted mirror. They're of course power folding mirrors. We get LED turn signals on them and blind spot monitoring, but it's on the inside part of the mirror. We get 4-door smart access, black trim for the window trim, panoramic moonroof up top, shark fin style antenna, same rear wheel and tire setup. The only difference is a smaller brake caliper. The gas cap is push to open with easy fill. You can throw 87 octane fuel in for this 3.5-liter V6. The taillights are full LED for the turn signals and reverse lights too. A-Spec badge, dual exhaust tips, and I'm liking the aggressive design for them. Full rear parking sensing, MDX super handling all-wheel drive badge in the corner. Shout out Moss Acura in Tampa, Florida for helping make this review possible. We'll take a squat back here, get a better look at the exhaust tips. And speaking of the exhaust tips, let's fire up this 3.5-liter V6 and hear how she sounds. Alright guys, that was the sound of the 3.5-liter V6 sold by Acura for the 2024 MDX, and it sounds pretty good. It makes a healthy amount of power at 290 horsepower, 267 pound-feet of torque, which is competitive with the segment, made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive. You can expect 0 to 60 in the mid 6-second range. Just like the 2023 Pilots, I don't see an air filter. I'm sure there's something going on within the intake itself, but a pretty questionable setup. I haven't seen this in most other vehicles. What you see is basically what we get. The hydraulic struts are appreciated, and with this A-Spec trim, we have a subtle carbon fiber finish surrounding the Acura badge. We can shut this hood right down, take a step back, walk around this 2024 MDX one more time. It's a beautiful design. The updated 4th generation MDX is without question the best looking MDX. But the power plant, considering the 2nd generation had that 300 horsepower, 3.7-liter V6, it was always a question mark to me why Acura switched to the slightly less powerful 3.5. But as far as this interior, you can't even compared to the previous models. We'll turn the headlights back to auto so the car's not yelling at me. Up top, we have soft touch materials to be expected. A nice little mesh trim, which looks like a speaker grill. One of your 3D ELS speakers down below, and a really soft leather stitch trim, red accents all throughout this interior with some black contrast for the center of the seat. That black contrast is also suede Alcantara 4-window auto on touch, power folding mirrors, as we mentioned, 4-way adjustable, lock and unlock, trunk release down below. The bottom portion is just hard plastic. You can fit a massive size bottle in there, probably a big gulp. With maybe a foot long, you'll easily fit a 6-inch sub, probably stack 2 on top of each other. Right here is where the blind spot monitoring lights up, as we mentioned, it's on the inside part of the mirror. The seats, we already slightly brought them up, but they're beautiful red and black accented leather and suede contrasted seats, fully adjustable 4-way lumbar. You can recline, drop, lift, and slide, and the seat adjustments are all outlined in aluminum trim. Taking a step inside, we can really check it out. We get an A-Spec with a red outlined A aluminum nameplate as we step inside too. Taking a step inside, for real though, foot on the brake, engine start stop, and everything fires right to life. But first thing we notice is the steering wheel. It's a really nice flat bottom wheel for the A-Spec, red contrast stitching and beautiful perforation for the 9 and 3 area. Reminds me a lot of the Type S steering wheel. The paddle shifters are aluminum, the horn area is rubberized, the horn itself loud and aggressive. People should definitely be getting out of your way. We'll do a window check, see if we get dual panes. We do get dual panes here on the A-Spec trim. I'm pretty sure all MDX models get the dual pane windows, at least from the tech package and up. On the left side of the steering wheel, we have volume and skip controls. You can turn off the media too, voice commands you can return, and access your apps. On the right side, you can adjust your infotainment, active steering with the lane keep assist, and radar cruise control. To the left of the steering wheel, we have our interior brightness, 360 sense you can disable, parking sensors you can disable, and traction control you can also disable. We get leather stitch trim outside of it, electronic parking brake, and a power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. A little bit of piano black around your air vents with aluminum stock running through the center of the air vents, some more of that aluminum faux carbon trim. Leather stitch dashboard. We don't get the heads up display here on the A-Spec, got to go up to the advanced to get the heads up display, but not a big deal. I'm personally not the biggest fan of Acura's heads up display anyway, but it's still a really well loaded interior. You get a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. It's adjusted with these controls to the right. We get a trip computer, navigation, maintenance information, tire pressure, super handling all-wheel drive power distributor, G-meter, driver attention level, a blank screen, safety support, and gauge settings. So everything's fully adjustable. This is my personal favorite screen with the trip computer. We have an Acura MDX. My brakes are currently activated. You take your foot off the brake and the car automatically adjusts to it. Super cool. We get a tach that goes to about 6,800 RPM and an indicator for the drive mode. The drive mode selector is in the center of this dashboard. We have normal, comfort, snow, and sport mode, and the gauge display adjusts according to the drive modes. We'll start the review off in normal mode, try out sport and comfort and see what the differences are. Continuing along, the engine start stop button when it's turned on is outlined in red, when it's not turned on is outlined in just a regular old school LED layout. More of that aluminum faux carbon trim, leather stitch dashboard, the touchscreen, or not a touchscreen, the screen itself adjusted with this trackpad. We can see everything that we have available. So ELS Studio system is adjustable. You can return to the home screen, access the navigation, wait as the map loads up, continue offline, and here we have the navigation screen. It's a pretty high resolution. The trackpad is not my personal favorite, but once you own the car for a couple weeks, I'm sure you get used to it. The response for it is still pretty solid. You can check out the home screen with a click of a button, navigation, phone, Sirius, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and system updates. You can also scroll left and right and see everything else that we have available. Awesome. My personal favorite screen to look at all times would be the navigation, so we'll leave it there. On the right side, you can use this right trackpad and adjust this screen between a clock, navigation screen, and song that's currently playing. My personal favorite screen to look at would be the clock, so we'll leave it there. Beneath that, hazards, dual zone automatic climate control up front, and we have a third zone out rear. Heated and ventilated seats standard on the A-Spec trim. You also get that on the Advance. We have it here standard. This is just about a base A-Spec. No options and features above the standard features that you get from the A-Spec itself. The drive mode selector, we already showed that to you guys. Auto start stop, you can turn off for the purpose of this review, we will. Brake hold for the electronic parking brake. Our charge ports, we can check them up. We have a USB-A and USB-C port. We have push buttons for the gear selector. We can check out the backup camera real quick. The resolution is excellent. We get guidance lines and trajectory. You can adjust different views. We get a narrower view, over the top trailer hitch view, and you press this button and not quite sure what happens. Let's try it over here. Yep, not quite sure what that does, but let me know in the comments section. The camera itself, very high resolution, front and rear parking sensing. Throwing right back into park, and it returns us right back to the map screen, trackpad, volume dial, and skip controls in a perfect location for the driver and the front passenger. We get more padded leather stitch trim for where our knee will often hit. Hopefully you get a good look at the pedals. It's not additional storage here, but I like this cutout. It kind of makes the design of this interior look a little more user-friendly. Behind the trackpad, there's this little pad, so if you want to access the trackpad, it's a pretty comfortable way to do it. Underneath this pad is a wireless phone charger, 2 cup holders with pushy things to keep your drinks in place. You'll fit 24, maybe 30-ounce bottles. Perfect location for a wallet or a phone. In front of the cup holders, the armrest is gushy, soft leather stitch trim. It's a 2-tier center console. You can throw your pens, business cards, car accessories in there, and you can open up this larger tier. You'll be able to fit probably 2 or 3, possibly even 4 1-liter bottles of soda, additional USB-A port, and 12-volt good spot for radar detector. More piano black trim surrounding the center with some leather stitch trim beneath that. Soft touch for this glove box with an aluminum latch to open it up. It's lined in felt, it's large, you'll fit 20, 25 license plates, probably 2 pairs of shoes if you're under a size 10, frameless auto-dimming rear view mirror, 3 garage home link settings on it, sunglass holder, the interior lights are LED, and this panoramic moonroof, we can simply pull that back and it opens right up pretty quickly too. You can press one more time and it should open up all the way. You gotta press this right slot to open up the shade completely, but look how far it opens up. Well into the second row for the opening. We'll poke our way out of here. It's a beautiful day today in Tampa, Florida, sunny and 87 degrees. We can shut this glass right up. We'll leave the shade open so when we hop out back, you see how much light is brought into the cabin. That's about it though, guys, for the front seat of the 2024 Acura MDX A-Spec. Didn't mention we also have 3-person memory seats, aluminum door handle. Let's hop out back, see how much space is offered back there, as well as the overall quality of the materials. So up top, we still have the soft touch materials, window shade, more of that mesh aluminum faux carbon trim, and the red leather for the center and the armrest. We have auto one touch out rear, additional speaker for the ELS 3D audio system, large cup holder. And I like how it's vertical, so you don't have to really worry about it spilling. You could maybe fit a foot long in that slot, easily fit a 6-inch sub, no problem. Ton of car accessories, additional aluminum A-Spec nameplate as we step inside. The rear seats aren't as well bolstered, but there's still that red leather and black suede contrasted perforated leather seat. They are adjustable. The legroom in the current adjustments is okay. I have about 2, maybe 3 inches of legroom. You can slide the seats back though, and now I have about 4 or 5 inches of overall legroom. The headroom, I have about 1 inch, possibly 2. So if you're under 6'3", 6'4", you should be able to sit behind your seat settings in the MDX with no problem. The center seat area is outlined in leather. 2 cup holders, you'll fit 24-ounce bottles. Behind the 2 cup holders, you could probably stack up 3 or 4 phones in the center storage area. And to lift this seat up, you pull this latch. It's kind of tough to do with a camera in my hand, but we figured it out. You can fit 3 people back here with no problem. 2 USB-A ports, 12-volt right next to it, and it will be an AC outlet, which is just covered in plastic for the slower A-Spec trim. You will get the power outlet on the Advance. We have a full 3rd zone climate with vents that blow directly into your face. Ton of light brought into the cabin with this massive panoramic moonroof. The interior light back here, it's not currently turned on up front, but I'm sure it's LED. We have additional speakers too that blow directly into your ear behind all of the grab handles in this interior. Really impressive interior for this A-Spec trim. We also have map pockets behind both of the front seats. Taking a step out to the 3rd row, we'll see how much space is offered back there, and then take this car out for a drive. So in previous MDX videos, there wasn't the most 3rd row space, but we'll see what it's like back here. Yeah, so knee room, my knees are just about running out of space. I'll try to refocus my camera to make it a little bit easier to see. It's tough with all that glare coming in from the moonroof. But as you see, my knees are hitting, my head is touching, so I'm a little bit too big to fit back here, at least comfortably. I could do a 20, maybe 30-minute drive back here. I'll be complaining about it. I can do a 20, 30-minute drive. Anything longer than that, it will be really tough. Keep this reserved for kids or just people that you really don't like. We do get 2 cup holders back here. That's really about it. The materials are hard plastic. We get a window, no air vents, but we do get an additional ELS 3D speaker. Let's press this button before I become claustrophobic. Hop out of here, and yeah, the process is certainly not easy. This and the Volvo XC90 have been just about the smallest 3rd row seats in the segment, at least. Out rear, we can see how much space is offered in the cargo space. Underneath the Acura badge, there's a button to open up the trunk, it gives you a second so you don't have to get duped in the face if you're holding a bunch of groceries. With the third row seats up, there's actually a solid amount of cargo space. I would expect them to maybe push it back 2-3 inches just to make the third row seat a little bit more usable for adults. We do get some inlets for grocery bags so they're not just flying around all over the place. Back here we have a power outlet, so if you have an electrically cooled cooler, you can plug it in and have all your food and drinks cold for when you arrive to your destination. Secret storage, you can see how much space is offered back here, and it's actually quite a bit. I'd recommend taking off this whole tray if you plan on keeping the third row seats up permanently. We can drop the third row seats though. In the meantime, the headrest immediately falls. We do the same thing right over here. Cool. And as you see, very large floor, solid cargo space for a mid-size SUV. You can throw those second row seats down, and I'd expect you to fit up to an 80, maybe 85-inch TV back here. I know from experience, my mom used to have an MDX, and my dad bought several 75-inch TVs fitting back here with no problem. You press this button, shut the trunk right up. It gives you a second so you're not gonna get duped in the head holding the grocery bags, as we mentioned. And that's about it though, guys, for the inside and outside of this 2024 Acura MDX Super Handling All-Wheel Drive A-Spec. With the base power plant, it's not gonna compete with vehicles like a BMW X5. If that's what you're looking for, you're gonna have to go all the way up for the Type S. But for the base power plant, this is the top performance trim. And speaking of performance, let's take this car out for a drive and see what it's got. All right, guys, now we're just about seeing everything we need to see with the inside and outside of the 2024 Acura MDX A-Spec. Check out the speed bump. You barely even feel it. Let's take it out for a drive and see what it's got. But as you saw, it handles these speed bumps unbelievably well. We'll see how the performance is in normal mode. My first impressions though, the steering is buttery light. You barely feel anything through the wheel. Surprisingly torquey though, for a naturally aspirated V6. It doesn't feel turbocharged, but it does feel like it has a very solid mid-range for what it is. The brakes feel solid. Steering is so light that it's almost like it doesn't even exist with that lightness. I'm not quite sure what that rattle is going on back there. It might be the sunshade. We'll throw this car into sport. See if the steering gets a little bit heavier, but really not by much. The throttle's a little more sensitive. You get a solid little artificial grunt through the exhaust. You get rev match downshifts too. They're not very loud. It doesn't give you that same noise that you got from the 3.7 liter V6 from the previous models, but it still sounds pretty good. Take a step right over here. Good torque. Lightning quick shifts, wow. Not bad at all. Good rev match downshifts. We'll see if we can try out an acceleration starting in first gear right here. Taking a step out here. Second gear, unfortunately, but okay. Oh no, that was first gear. Woo! Yeah. Picks up speed well. No, it's not gonna be as quick as say a BMW X5, but it still picks up speed surprisingly well. We can try it out with the transmission in S mode. Here we can downshift on the gas. Woo! Not the most top end, but it gets up and goes. It feels a little bit quicker than a Telluride. Nice mid-range. I like it. And over the bumps, it has absolutely incredible ride quality. We can throw it back into comfort mode, take the transmission out of S, regular D. The steering becomes non-existently light. The ride quality is still excellent. You don't hear any wind noise thanks to these dual pane windows, and the way that it soaks up the bumps thanks to these 50 series sidewall Bridgestone tires. It's impressive. Taking a step out here, we can see how we can hit the twisty on the gas. Woo. Nice performance, guys. The brakes still feel excellent. They actually feel a little bit less heavy in comfort mode. I'm not sure if there's an electrically adjusted pedal here for the brakes, but it does feel like they might have one. All right, guys, taking a step out here, we can try about half throttle in comfort mode. Still feels very strong. Not bad. Throw it back into sport for one more acceleration. Nice rev match downshifts. Taking a step out here. Looks like we can try one more acceleration on the gas. Woo. That one's starting off in second, but it's still pulled hard. We can try one out off the line on the gas. Oh. Woo. Quick shifts. Okay, we're gonna have to push it a whole lot further, throwing it back into normal mode. This is a surprisingly quick SUV with the A-Spec package, and with the styling to go along too. I understand it's not any quicker than a lower trim, but it looks like it. So if you don't need the extra power of the Type S, you don't want to spend the extra 10 grand for the Type S, you just want the styling, luxury, and features, this is an excellent way to go. We can take the transmission out of S again, and it idles right down, unbelievably quiet, unbelievably smooth. The steering, although it's light, it's still very direct. You barely turn the steering wheel and you were changing directions in this thing with no problem. We can try one more acceleration off the line. We're not going to floor it anymore, but we'll do a decent acceleration. I'll catch right back with you in normal mode. All right, guys, about a third throttle in normal mode. Nice smooth shifts. And it'll get to speed in no time. Overall, guys, if you're looking for a luxury 3-row SUV, you don't need it to do 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. You're more than happy getting there in 6.5 seconds. You just want the upper level styling and the upper level luxury. I would definitely recommend checking out the 2024 Acura MDX A-Spec. It is a beautiful SUV, loaded with features, loaded with tech, and if that's what you're looking for, I would definitely recommend checking it out. And a big thanks to Lauren at Moss Acura in Tampa, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to your inventory below, and if you're looking for a new premium car or SUV in the Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out, and as for Lauren. And huge thanks to all of you for watching. I had a great time making this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know the channel is just not possible without you, and I really appreciate the constant support. But again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave a like too. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment. Let me know if there's any specific cars, SUVs, or trucks you want to see reviewed on this channel, and I'll definitely try getting those videos for you ASAP. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope all of you have a great day.